I was folding laundry when Maya dropped the bomb. She set the pile down in my hands and said, "I don't want to be a wife right now. I need to find myself." I asked, "Then I hope you find what you're looking for." When she returned, she found a man who had stopped waiting. We'd been together 10 years, married 7. "Maya, we need to talk." She barely looked up from folding her yoga pants. "I've been feeling trapped, like I lost who I am along the way." I waited. "Want to talk about it?" I offered. "I don't want to be a wife right now. I need to find myself." I asked what that meant. She said she wanted to move back into her old apartment for a while, take time, maybe do an art residency in Portland, travel, backpack through Europe. "I've never been single as an adult, Marcus. I went straight from my parents to college to you." I set the laundry down and asked how long. "I don't know. 6 months, a year, until I find myself." "And us?" I said. "We're married." She insisted that the marriage would stay legally intact. She just needed to not act like a wife for a while. "You understand, right?" she asked. I looked at her. The suitcase by the door said she already had her answer. "Then I hope you find what you're looking for," I said. She smiled, relieved. "I knew you'd understand. This doesn't change how I feel about you." Apparently it did. That weekend she moved out, left her rings on the dresser, and switched her social media back to her maiden name. I called a lawyer first thing Monday. "So she wants to stay married but live separately while she finds herself?" I explained to the attorney. We talked legal separation versus divorce, how to protect assets. The apartment had been bought before we married, only my name on the title. Our bank accounts were mostly separate. The lawyer told me to document everything if she was abandoning the marital home. So I documented photos of the empty spaces where her things had been, the rings on the dresser, screenshots of her social media reverting to her maiden name, and the text where she said she needed to stop being a wife. Week 2, she posted from Portland, big grin, art supplies, captions about finding herself and starting a new chapter. Her mom called. "Marcus, what's this about Maya in Portland? She's finding herself. Are you two having problems?" I told her to ask Maya. After all, Maya had been the one to say she didn't want to be a wife anymore. I started therapy, not because I was falling apart but because I needed clarity. The therapist was blunt. Maya wanted the security of marriage without many of the responsibilities. Was I okay with that? No. That's why I was in therapy. 3 months in, Maya was living up the highlight reel. Instagram flooded with Europe, sangria in Barcelona, mountain hikes, solo travel, art shows. I was left to handle the practical stuff. Mortgage, bills, her car insurance that was still on my policy. I even got calls from her dentist about missed appointments. At work someone said, "Dude, you look better. Been working out." I'd started waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, cooking real meals instead of ordering takeout, and signed up for the woodworking class I'd always wanted to try. Funny how much time you have when you stop waiting for someone to come back. Then Nora joined our team. Smart, funny, and actually present. Great presentation. Nora. Want to grab coffee and talk about implementation? I said. Coffee become lunch meetings. Professional, always professional. But she made me laugh. She made being with someone feel straightforward instead of half of a conversation that never landed. Around month 4, Maya's friend Jess rang. "How are things?" she asked. "Fine," I said. Jess told me Maya was worried I wasn't replying to her travel updates. She texts me photos of sangria in Barcelona. What am I supposed to say? I told Jess I was honoring the space Maya asked for. She still wants to know you're there. I answered. I'm just not waiting. 6 months on, after 8 months away, the timeline blurred, but the return was sudden. Maya showed up on a Sunday morning with a tan and a new nose ring. She opened the door like she belonged there, dropped her backpack by the coat closet, and froze. The place had changed. "You redecorated, renovated, turned your craft room into a workshop." She wandered the apartment like she was touring someone else's place. There was a new couch, new art, my photography from the class I took hanging on the wall, and half-finished furniture in the workshop. "It looks different," she said. We sat at the kitchen table. It felt like a meeting. "So I found myself," she said. "I realized I was burnt out and needed to reconnect with my art. But I also realized I missed us. I'm ready to be a wife again." "Okay. What do you want me to say?" I asked. "That you missed me? That you're happy I'm back?" I told her I had missed her for about 3 months. Then I had moved on. Her face fell. "What does that mean?" she asked. "You didn't want to be a wife, so I stopped being a husband who waited for his wife to return." I said I was back for myself too. "I'm not the same man who folded your laundry while you announced you were leaving. I'm not anyone's safety net." She started to tear up. "Safety net. I'm your wife." I reminded her that she specifically said she didn't want to be a wife. She tried to move back in. I'd already changed the locks, the lawyer's advice after month 3. "Are you serious? This is my home." "No," I said. "This is my apartment. It was a premarital asset, and you abandoned it 8 months ago." "I didn't abandon anything. I was finding myself," Maya argued. Finding herself meant Portland, then Prague, then Peru, while I stayed behind keeping the mortgage current. Her confidence cracked once she realized I was serious. Jess let her crash at her place for a while, but even that had limits. "You can't just lock me out. I have rights." "Through your lawyer," I told her. "Lawyer? For what?" "For the divorce you're about to be served with." Her expression said everything. Wide-eyed, stunned, like a meme come to life. "Divorce? I don't want a divorce." "Neither did I said. "But I also didn't want a wife who stopped being a wife for 8 months." That's when the flood of love bombing began. Late-night texts about our history, photos from our wedding, 2 a.m. messages. "Remember when? We were so good together." Past tense. She pulled her family into it. Her mom called in tears. "Marcus, please." She made a mistake. "No," I corrected. "She made a choice. For 8 months. Kids these days," her mom sighed. "Always off finding yourselves." I wasn't confused. I'd been here paying bills, doing the work, being an adult. Her dad tried the stern talk. "Marriage is about forgiveness. It's also about showing up," I told him. She didn't. "She's ready now," he said. "I'm not." Then came the tactics. She popped up at my gym, at my usual coffee shop. "Oh Marcus, what a coincidence. You live across town, Maya." "This isn't coincidence. Can we just talk as friends?" "We're not friends. We're getting divorced." She took her complaints online, claiming I had destroyed her creative sanctuary. Her followers rallied. "Men are cruel. He stole your art room." I answered once. "Hard to steal a room in my own apartment, abandoned 8 months ago." Screenshots, storage receipts, and timestamps did the rest. Things escalated legally. Her lawyer tried to spin it as if she'd been on a short trip. My lawyer countered with her own Instagram. 8 months of #findingmyself posts, plus texts where she explicitly said she didn't want to be a wife. Exploration and personal growth don't cancel out abandonment. When that didn't stick, she tried money. She attempted to access our joint savings. The bank flagged it. She hadn't touched the account in 8 months. Then she went nuclear, showing up at my office with a suitcase. Told the receptionist it was a family emergency. I came downstairs. "What are you doing?" She raised her voice in the lobby. "I have nowhere to go. My husband locked me out. We're getting divorced. You left 8 months ago." She started crying. "I just needed some time." "You got it. 8 months worth." Security escorted her out. She screamed, "You're heartless." I thought about it. 7 years together. Then she left to find herself. Maybe I had hardened. But it felt like survival, not cruelty. My boss checked in after. Everything okay? Divorce. She's not handling it well. Need time off. No, I said. Work's the stable part of my life right now. Her smear campaign picked up online. Posts about how she took a short sabbatical for her mental health and came home to find her world destroyed. Claimed I changed the locks, trashed her belongings, turned her art room into a man cave. Problem for her, I had everything stored, neatly boxed, labeled, photographed, with receipts dated 8 months back. I even posted. Items stored. Unit 447. Here's your key. Timeline doesn't add up. Friends picked sides. The ones who knew the truth stood with me. Newer acquaintances bought her "poor me" narrative. Jess called again. She's crying every night on my couch. How long is this going to last? Until the divorce is final, I said. She was laughing in Barcelona, I reminded her. People adapt. The last big swing came when Maya filed for spousal support, claiming she'd sacrificed her career for the marriage. My lawyer literally laughed. She posted wine tours across Europe for 8 months. Hard to argue financial hardship when you're live blogging your art residency. The judge agreed. Miss Chin, you voluntarily left the marital home for 8 months. Were you employed during that time? I was focusing on personal growth. So, no. And now you want support. I sacrificed for the marriage by leaving it, she insisted. It didn't land. A year later, the divorce was final. She dragged it out, but reality won. Settlement was simple. She collected her things from storage, got a small piece of the joint savings, no alimony. Clean break. At signing, she tried one last plea. Marcus, we could stop this. Go to counseling. Work it out. I shook my head. You wanted to find yourself. I found someone who shows up. That someone was Nora, my coworker. We'd started dating after the divorce was filed, slow and steady. She asked once, I'm not a rebound, right? No. You're someone who's actually here. The difference is stark. Nora makes plans, keeps them, includes me in decisions. Novel concept. Presence. Maya still sends late-night texts. I miss us. I don't respond. Last I heard, she's living with her parents, still posting about being punished for choosing self-care. Her narrative never changes. Her mom called me last week. She's not doing well. Maybe if you talk to her. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. But she wanted to find herself. Now she has to figure out what to do with what she found. You've changed, her mom said. Yeah, I admitted. That happens when your wife decides she doesn't want to be one. Meanwhile, my workshop is thriving. Built a dining table last month. Nora helped sand it. She even shows up for the tedious parts. Maya was right about one thing. She did find herself. She found someone who runs when things get hard and expects the world to pause until she's ready again. And I found myself too. Someone who doesn't wait for people who leave. Someone who values presence over promises. Who can build something solid from the pieces left behind. She once told me she didn't want to be a wife. I told her I hoped she found what she was searching for. She did. And I found something better. Someone who wants to stay. Funny how that works.